Today, we're using the weirdest controllers to do glitches within Super Mario Odyssey. And I'm not kidding with the weird controllers part, since we're using some of the craziest controllers I own to play this one game. These controllers range from bongos to old controllers to PlayStation controllers, N64 controllers, and so much more. Trust me, you want to stick around for this video since the controllers get crazier as the video goes on. And the best part, you can do all of this at home with no console mods necessary, which I go into detail at the end of the video. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video. So before every controller, I will come in here and give a little bit of a backstory to the controller and explain the glitch that we're doing, starting with the standard Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are just the normal Switch controllers that you would use. They were released on March 3rd, 2017, and were bundled in with the Nintendo Switch 1, or you could of course buy extra ones which had special designs or just different colors. Since this is the first controller and most normal controller we're using, we didn't really have any limitations with this one, unlike some of the other ones in this video, so we just started with the box clip in Snow Kingdom. It wasn't that hard since there was nothing strange with the controller, so here's the tutorial. So for the first controller that we're using, we're just going to be using some normal Switch Joy-Cons just like this. But we're adding a little bit of a twist by using this absolutely absurd grip. Come on, it's a weird controllers video. What do you expect to happen? Now, for the actual glitch, you're going to want to go into Snow Kingdom and inside of Shiveria at the above the ice well checkpoint, and you're going to want to go to the second level with these boxes right here. Then you just want to go on top of the boxes and go towards the wall just like this. Then you want to do a backflip and ground pound roll cancel, and if you do that correctly, you should be able to go right through the wall. Now, if you aren't able to get it, just go back inside of the main Shiveria race area and back out, and you should be good. Also, if you don't know how to do a ground pound roll cancel, my tutorial should be in the cue card right now. There we go! Now, once you've gotten that ground pound roll cancel, you're either able to stick on top of this thing, or you just fall right into the void, which is fine if you have assist mode on, since you'll just be bubbled back up here. But now we are out of bounds in the main area of Shiveria, which is a really cool out of bounds glitch to do. The biggest thing that we can do with this is ground pound jump up here, do a cap throw, and just start walking up here, and you can see the entire kingdom, or the entire bit of this kingdom from up here. And if you want to go even just a little bit further, you can grab onto an invisible ledge here, and stand on this weird platform. Now, jumping back onto the main thing, we're also able to just go everywhere in the kingdom. We can go on this side, we can go on the other side, we can go anywhere we want, really. Now, there's only really a couple of other things that we can do with this, like we can jump over here to these platforms, which don't have very much out of bounds in this area, but then we can jump around over here onto a bigger platform, which we completely missed and somehow landed on an invisible platform. Okay, where are we? Now, going back up here, we're also able to jump all the way down here behind the loading zone for Shiveria, which we didn't do, and kind of just slide infinitely. But anyways, that's the first glitch. And now it's off to the next glitch with the next weird controller. The next controller we're using is the Wii Classic Pro controller. The Wii Classic Pro controller was the first controller we're using from before the Switch era, and it's the first of many. It was released on August 1st, 2009, and was an improvement to the original version, which looked even stranger than the N64 controller. It has mainly the same amounts of buttons as the Joy-Cons, but we've already lost our ability to use motion controls. The glitch I wanted to do with this was the Cascade Kingdom Rock Slide glitch, which we also had to do the roll cancel for, so we just did both. It wasn't that hard with it, so here's the tutorial. Now, for the glitch, you are just going to want to come to the main area of Cascade Kingdom with Balloon World and the shops, and you're going to want to go to this corner over here. Then you're going to want to do another ground pound roll cancel and hold right towards the wall. If you do this correctly, you should be able to go right through. Now, that's pretty hard on this controller. So it appears that we can still glide our thumb across the buttons, so we should be fine and it shouldn't be that bad of a clip. There we go, we got it. There. Oh, shoot. No, no! Okay. Alright, that first one didn't happen. Now we're back. So from here, we're then going to want to do a ground pound below this thing and press Y when we're below so we can go under. Then we want to swim up and go on top of this platform here. Next, we want to go over here, jump up onto this platform right over there, and not clip back in bounds. Make sure you stay out of bounds for the next part. Just like that. There we go. Now, we're going to want to stand on this side of the platform, do a ground pound jump, and dive. If you do that correctly, you should be able to land on top of here. Next, we're going to want to throw out Cappy and hold Y until he's able to return to us just like that. Then we want to go collect the rock, and if you do that correctly, we should just be sliding around, just like that. Now, if you're able to control it properly, you're able to get pretty far with that. Except that time we didn't get far at all since we ran into a wall. Also, if you run into a slow pit, ends instantly. Alright, let's try that again. Let's see if we can do it a bit better this time. There we go. Okay, good. Don't get hit by this guy. Alright, we're going pretty far. And now we're dead, and I don't know what happened. Ooh, it's back. We can try again. So get the thing, turn around. Hopefully it'll pick us up. There we go. Around a bit. Good. We're actually moving. Remember, if we run into any slope, we are done. So we gotta be really careful. Oh my gosh, this is fast. Holy jeez, that's fast. Third time's a charm, maybe? Alright. Okay, this is way too much fun to put down. What's going on? And we're dead again. Okay. Alright, I gotta cut myself off at some point, but this is just way too much fun. I definitely recommend this glitch, even if you do clip back and bounce. I still 100% recommend it. It's amazing. But anyways, that's the glitch with this controller. And now it's off to the next glitch with the next weird controller. The third controller we're using is the N64 controller. It came out on June 23rd, 1996, and was bundled in with the N64. You could, of course, buy other fun colors with this controller, like blue, yellow, green, etc. There's a lot of them. This controller is definitely the most limiting one of them all so far, since we literally can't use Cappy and we can only move the camera in 4 directions. For this controller, I chose the Lost Kingdom corner clip, which was a lot harder with the N64 controller since we couldn't roll, which is how I normally do this glitch. But now with all that out of the way, it's time for the tutorial. So for the glitch with this controller, we're just going to want to come to the Rocky Mountain Summit checkpoint in Lost Kingdom, and we're going to want to jump down here to this room right here. Then we're going to want to crouch at this corner in a way that lets us clip right through. With this controller, we can't really do anything crazy. We aren't even allowed to roll, so we just have to kind of etch ourselves to the corner and hope we get lucky. Alright, we're looking pretty good with this one. I don't want to move anything right now. Looks like we're getting pretty far in. A couple of other good controller presses. We would have been in if I didn't completely mess it up, that is. Yes. Yes, that's it! No! We got it though. We got it. I am not doing that again. I don't care. We went right through. We did fall off, but we went right through. Okay, I am not doing that again. That took long enough. Alright, so clipping through there without actually rolling is a lot harder than I expected. I thought it'd be like, okay, just click, click, click. Alright, you're good. No, you actually have to struggle in pain there, and hopefully you can squeeze right through in the perfect way. Oh my gosh, we did it again. Oh my gosh, we did it again. I think we can actually get somewhere. Right over here, and we're good! We're actually standing out of bounds with an N64 controller right now. That is insane. From here, we can't exactly do much, though. We're just kind of here. We can jump down right here, but that's just about how far you can go. You're just kind of stuck here, especially with the 64 controller when you can't use Cappy. And that's it for the N64 controller. And now it's off to the next controller, which is just insane. The GameCube controller is our next weird controller, and it's actually easier than the N64 controller. This controller came out on November 18th, 2001, and is still the controller that people use today for Smash Brothers. They did make some pretty wacky versions of this controller as well. It would have been pretty cool to use some of these, but I don't have any of them, so we can't. Now, regarding glitches, we are not as limited on this controller as we were before, since we have access to every button except for minus. I decided to do an easier glitch with this one for some reason, which was the cheap release clip in Lake Kingdom. Anyways, here's the tutorial for the glitch. So for this glitch, you're just going to want to capture a fish in Lake Kingdom, and you're going to want to bring it over to this zipper area over here. Then you're going to want to uncapture the fish, capture the zipper, undo the zipper, and recapture the fish, and now you should be ready to do the glitch. So from here, you're going to want to go on the right side of the thing, and you're going to want to get the fish's shadow partially under it like that. then you're going to want to hold B and uncapture the fish. And if you do that correctly, you should be able to go right through the wall just like that. Now, if you are still struggling on the glitch, if you're getting Mario just kind of uncapturing, not doing anything, you're going to want to bring the fish a little bit out. And if Mario's being uncaptured and going on top of the fish, then you're going to want to put him a little bit in. But anyways, now we're out of bounds. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about the glitch, but there's a couple things that I want to show you. First, we're able to explore the entire kingdom from out of bounds. From here, we can see a whole bunch of really strange things, like these weird big rainbow banner things. A whole bunch of things just unloading and reloading. Like that, there we go. They're all just gone. And we can also see these just giant boxes in the middle of nowhere. It's very strange. Finally, we can come over to this water pool. We can just come out of the water and keep swimming. It's really strange. And it also looks like you're just air swimming, so that's interesting as well. Ooh, Mario now has a superpower, air swimming. But if we try and air swim in this area, his force field ends and we're gone. But anyways, that is the glitch for the GameCube controller. It's just a fun, simple glitch that you can do whenever you want. Now it's time to move on to the next controller, which is where things start to get real crazy. The next controller we're using is the SNES controller, which came out on August 23rd, 1991, and was the first controller to introduce the standard 4-button layout. It's definitely the hardest controller we've used yet, since we have no way of moving Mario in any direction except for straight using dives. We also had to start using button mapping, since ZL and ZR were not present on the controller at all, so we had to map one to something. Since we have all these limitations, we're going to have to introduce an exception, which is that we're allowed to use the Switch 2 Pro Controller Stick to look around with the camera if we're able to go into first-person mode using the controller. I decided to do the fence clip in sand, which proved to be difficult in its own ways, but I will let past Glitchtastick talk about it later. Also, the controller is like half out of frame for this one, please don't mind that, but now let's get to the tutorial. Now, the next weird controller that we're going to be using is the Super Nintendo controller. Now, with this controller, we have had to make an exception to our rule of just using the controller, and that's because we literally cannot move the camera. Like, we can't move Mario or the camera at all. So, our exception to this rule is we have to go into first-person mode on this controller, which I've mapped to up here. And in order to move the camera around, we get to use the Switch 2 Pro Controller Stick, but that's it. Nothing else. So for this glitch, we are going to want to go right towards this fence in Sand Kingdom, which is right by the main shop. And you're going to want to go on top of this roof right over here and make sure that you're in position to go face the fence. Alright, this should work. Now, we're just going to want to face away from the fence. So we got to go into first person mode, face the other direction, then go out. There we go. And now we've just got to do a backflip and ground pound right into the fence. So just like that. If you do it correctly, you should be able to stand right inside the fence. We got it! Good! Okay, I was not expecting to get that. That was really hard, actually. Really surprisingly hard. So now... No. We can't go into first person. Okay. We can still... Never mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, we just came to a crazy realization. This might actually be possible to pull off. So, if we line ourselves up perfectly, we can dive in. And that is probably going to be the most useful asset that we have now. There we go, we got it! Okay, so now we're facing the proper direction. We just have to crouch, roll. Okay, we actually made it. Here's the thing. We were able to make it all the way over, except we went right back in bounds. We were able to go inside of here, partially, until it just clipped us right back in. I say we try again, see if we can get a dive into the fence again, and hopefully get a second chance of getting to the main out of bounds. Okay, that was really quick! So, I literally just said that. 5 seconds later, we're back. Alright, that's really, really beneficial for us. So, roll. Okay, that sucks. Third time's the charm, maybe? Maybe I'm just dreaming and hoping that I can actually do it. But maybe... There! Okay, we're back, but I'm almost certain we are not able to go all the way over there. If we just roll, we are going out immediately. Yep, like I said. So if you are able to get into the main out of bounds, which is all in here, you're able to walk into a couple of buildings, but I'll just show you some of the highlights that are on screen right now. I'll let you guys explore what the heck is actually going on in there. Anyways, that's the glitch with the Super Nintendo controller. This has definitely been the wonkiest so far, but also pretty fun to use. And now it's time for the next glitch with the next wacky controller. After the SNES controller, we're using a Wii Remote. The Wii Remote came out on November 19th, 2006 and came bundled with the Wii. They made a lot of different colors of Wiimotes, and they made an improved version of it, which included Wii Motion Plus on November 7th, 2010. Now, the Wiimote was a lot easier than the rest of the controllers since the D-pad on the thing actually acts like a stick, so we can move! I thought we would have to do the dive thing that we did earlier, but apparently not. I'm not complaining. We still had to map some buttons for the glitch we were doing, which is the Taifu clip in Snow Kingdom, which was rather simple since we could move. But now it's time for the tutorial on how to do the glitch. So for this glitch, we're going to want to grab this Taifu specifically right by the Odyssey, and we're going to want to bring him all the way over here to this mountain. Now, we need to turn the camera in the left direction so that it's kind of facing the cracks and we can actually see where we're going so we can start the glitch. Now that we're here at a decent camera angle, we can start the glitch. So we're going to want to leave the Taifu a little bit away from this crack so that we have room to fall, and we're just going to want to uncapture and move to the left, and you should be able to go right through the wall. So let's see, can we do it? It's a little bit more difficult with the Wii Remote, even though we just got it! There we go! Now, the Wii Remote loves to vibrate, so it can get kind of annoying quite quickly. But hey, we can bear it. Now we are out of bounds in the entire kingdom. We are literally able to explore everything. Nothing is off limits to us, even the void, which goes on for a while. Now, like I said before, we can't really turn the camera with the Wii Remote, so we just have to kind of hope the camera goes in a good spot. Here we go, this looks pretty good. So if we also go towards the middle, start ground pounding down, go towards the middle, dive with Cappy, we can get stuck right in here. Now from here, we actually can't do anything. We are basically soft locked. If we couldn't teleport to any checkpoints, we would be. Basically, there is no way out of this area. It's like you're stuck at the bottom of a well, except you get forced in the middle of the well every single time you go in the well. I just said well it 3 times in that sentence and it made sense, oh my gosh. But yeah, we're just kind of stuck here. The only way we can get out is by teleporting to a checkpoint. Alright, this looks like a good angle. Hopefully we can do it. There we go, we got it again. For this one, I just kind of wanted to explore a little bit until we're dead. So we're able to just swim around everywhere, so go wherever your heart desires. I'm going to the other side of the kingdom, just because why not, really? Just going there, we can see everything just kind of popping out of the floor, going through the walls. It's really cool. Just like over here, there's a lot of these random icicles. It's so strange. Oh, wait, we can move them. Wait, why can we move them? Now, for the last thing, I feel like we just kind of try and jump out as far as we can, which, once again, didn't lead to great results. But anyways, that's this glitch with the Wii Remote. It's a really fun and easy one to do if you have a normal controller. With the Wii Remote, it's a little bit harder, but still fun. But now it's off to the next glitch with the next wacky controller. After doing the normal Wii Remote, we are now using a singular Wii Nunchuck as our controller. The Nunchuck came out on the same day as the Wii Remote, which was November 19th, 2006, and was also bundled in with the Wii console. We were actually doing pretty good with this one, since once again we had a way to move Mario, and we also had a couple of buttons to work with. We were able to map these 2 buttons to Y and B, and this actually opened up a lot of potential for glitches. The one I chose to do was the floating rock glitch, which wasn't that hard since we had all the necessary materials and we could move Mario again. Anyways, enough of me yapping, now it's time for the tutorial. So for this glitch, you're just going to want to come over here in Wooded Kingdom behind the Odyssey, and you're going to want to grab specifically this rock right here. Now, once you've gotten the rock, you're going to want to bring it all the way over here past Luigi to the falling platform. Now, once you're over here, you're going to want to stand on the right side of the platforms, just like this. Then you're going to want to do a jump and throw your rock, and if you did it correctly, it should just land on the platform just like this. Now, if your rock is on the other side of the platform or anywhere else on the platform, that's fine. Just make sure it's on the right platform and you're fine. Now, you're just going to want to hit this guy with your hat, and you're going to want to hold down the button so that you're able to just pick up the rock on a whim. Now, you want to go to the opposite side of the platform on where your rock is. So for me, it'd be the left, and if your rock is on the left side, you would be going on the right side. If it's in the middle, either side, it doesn't really matter. But you're just going to want to go on the platform and make it fall. Now, once the platform has fallen, your rock should be bouncing in the water, and you're just going to want to pick it up when that's happening. If you do this correctly, the glitch should just activate. So now that looks good. Come out of the water. And there we go, we have done the glitch. Now with this rock, we can actually do quite a few things. First of all, we can just torture NPCs. Basically, if you're able to just kind of perfectly get the rock on the NPC, you can just do this. Now you can do this on every NPC, and it makes an absolutely amazing sound. Just listen to this. Sounds great, doesn't it? Now you can do that with every single NPC in the kingdom, and you can have a whole bunch of different sounds too. Maybe you can make an orchestra, I don't know. Now that we have the rock back, there's still a couple of things that I want to show everybody. First of all, if we put the rock on specifically this guy, like we were before, just like that, and then we jump into the rock and throw our hat in a specific way, we should be able to just make Cappy turn invisible. Now this one does have kind of a precise timing. I'm not too sure how it works, just I know if you place the rock on this guy, throw it at the right time, it should be good. There we go, we got it! Now it might not look like much has changed, but if we just stand still for a second, we can see Cappy's eyes just kind of spawn out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm Magician Mario. I have an invisible hat. Now, if I throw the hat, I'll make it reappear. See? Ta-da! He's back. But anyways, that's this glitch. And now it's off to the next glitch with the next weird controller. The PlayStation DuelSense controller is next up after the Wii Nunchuck. This controller came out on November 12th, 2020 with the PS5 since the controller is once again bundled in with the console. Now this one is probably the easiest controller yet, even easier than the Wii Classic Pro controller. We had everything we had at the start, including jumping, rolling, basically every special move, and motion controls, which is nuts. There were some weird button placements on the thing, like R1 was jump and one of the face buttons was jump as well, and there was some other ones that I can't remember. Anyways, enough of me yapping, now it's time for the tutorial. So for this glitch, you're going to want to come to Luncheon Kingdom and capture one of the Pan Bros. Then you want to bring him over here to this pool of lava with this lava bubble in it. Then you can move the lava bubble if you want. It will make the glitch a little bit easier, but it does take a little bit longer, so I'm not going to. Now, you're going to want to put the Pan Bro at the very edge of the thing, just like this, and face him away so that he's facing backwards like that. Now, you're going to want to uncapture him, turn towards the Pan Bro again, and recapture him on the last frame that he's alive. And if you do that correctly, the glitch should activate. Not like that. Okay. We did see Cappy's hat starting to go on him, but we did still fail it. This one does take a little bit to do, so if you don't get it on your first try, don't give up. Never mind, we just got it there. That actually only took 3 tries. That wasn't that bad, actually. But now we have activated the glitch and have frozen everything. Now, this isn't like the time freeze glitch in the original version where we can walk around. We're just stuck here falling through the floor forever. We can look around at the frozen world, though, and under the world, which is still pretty darn cool. Well, there isn't really much to see here. Just a couple of outlines, enemies, and yada yada yada. Not very exciting. But yeah, you can just kind of look around, and every single button does literally nothing. See on the camera right now, I am literally spamming every single button. I can't do anything. So if you do decide to do this glitch, the only way to deactivate it is to press the home button and close the game. And that's the glitch with the PlayStation 5 controller. Now we're going to be moving on to the next weird controller. The next controller we're using is a classic weird controller, and it's the DK Bongos. This controller was released for the Donkey Konga games back on the GameCube, and there was a total of 3 games for the thing in North America and 4 in Japan for some reason. Now this controller has 5 buttons. It might not look like it, but there's 5 of them. First, each side of the bongos has 2 buttons, one on the top of each bongo and one on the bottom. Then we have the sides, which for some reason also have buttons, but they're very unresponsive and annoying to use. Once again, we couldn't move with the bongos, so we had to bring back the rule from the SNES controller where we can use the Switch 2 Pro controller stick to go into first-person mode and change the camera angle. Now we did the Sand Kingdom walk clip with this one, which somehow managed to make it harder than easy. Now, I'm not saying like it's a hard glitch, I'm saying it's more of a medium difficulty, but since this is literally the easiest glitch in the game, that's a big improvement on difficulty. Anyways, enough of me talking, and now it's time for the tutorial. So for this glitch, you're going to want to go into the sub area directly below the inverted pyramid, and you're going to want to line yourself up with this corner right here, or the same one on the other side. Basically, just make it so that you can crouch right through and you're fine. Since we can't exactly crouch with this thing, we have to kind of do a perfectly timed roll, which is a little bit harder. See, throwing Cappy right through, we're all lined up. We just need to do the roll now. What riveting gameplay to watch right now. We're standing here throwing out Cappy trying to do a roll. There we go, we got it! Now, there is absolutely no way we are staying out of bounds there. I am pretty sure that is the best that we can do. Well, at least I hope we can kind of take the camera out, since we can backflip a little bit. Maybe we can reposition him? Okay, let's try this angle now. There we go, okay. And we got the camera in, that's an added bonus. Let me tell you, there was like nothing else that we can really do with this. Now that's it for the DK Bongos. And now it's off to the last weird controller and glitch I have for you all in the video. Now we have our final weird controller, which is the dance pad, an absolute staple in the weird controller space. The first dance pad-like controller came out in 1987 with Nintendo's version of the thing in the form of the Power Pad. This was used for a couple of games on the NES before it was used for Dance Dance Revolution on just about every home console in the 2000s. There were many different versions of the controller, like the Mario version, there's a version for PlayStation 2, Xbox, there's way too many of them. Now, on the glitches front, we have about 8 buttons that we can work with, which we could use to jump in place before mapping them. What we did was we mapped the click on the R stick, the Y button, and the ZR buttons, which let us at least move. The same rule came back from last time. We can use the Switch 2 Pro controller to actually move if we can get into first-person mode using the original controller. For this one, I was racking my brain for glitches we could do, and I came up with the idea of the box clip in Metro, which we couldn't do since we had to walk forward. My next idea was maybe the fish clip in Seaside, which could work in theory, but you would need to do a lot of perfect things and movements in order to get it to work. Finally, I came across a relatively unknown glitch that would work. The no UI glitch using the binoculars, guys. Bingo. Now it's just time to see if we can do it properly. Alright, and we're back with the dance pad. Now, for the glitch with the dance pad, we're still going to have to make an exception to just using the controller. Basically, we're bringing back the rule from the Super Nintendo controller, where if we're able to get into first-person mode using the controller, we're then able to use the Switch 2 Pro controller to look around. But everything else is going to be done with the dance pad, so that's exciting. So for the glitch, you're going to want to go to any of these binoculars, guys, and then you're going to want to go capture them just like this. Then you're going to want to uncapture the binoculars guy and wait for him to go down. Now the binoculars guy should be going down, and once he goes down far enough into a specific area, you're going to want to pause and unpause. Then if you do that correctly, you should be able to just activate the glitch. So we've got to do this, and we've got to go on the pause. Okay, that was way too early. It's a pretty particular timing, so you just got to keep doing it over and over again until you're able to get it. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is it. We are just high enough now so that we can get it. We just have to unpause now, and it should activate the glitch. Just like that, I was right. Okay, good. And we just deactivated it. Great. Gosh, I guess it's kind of hard to do stuff with a dance pad, but the glitch is basically, it gets rid of all the UI of the game. There we go, that's it again. Good. Now we just need to avoid the up button on the dance pad, since that's what's mapped to throwing Cappy. There we go, dive. Good. This is our means of getting around. I hope if we go into first person, it does not reset the glitch, because I think there's a chance of that happening. If we capture anything, it resets the glitch. If we go into first person, maybe. I'm just gonna not risk it right now, so that we can just look around for a little bit. Alright, we're getting to the edge of the world now, so I think it's time to risk going into first person. So here we go, look in a different direction. Let's hope it still works. So does it still work? We're gonna find out in 3, 2, 1. Yes! Okay, I actually wasn't expecting it to! You know what, let's get hit by a Goomba. That's like the most random thing that I could have thought of to do. But why not? Let's get hit by a Goomba. There we go! Hello, Goomba. I didn't even see this stack. I was just trying to find some new ones. Oh, there we go. We're getting chained. You know what? Let's capture something, and then let's go to another kingdom. So, you know what? Let's go for this guy. He doesn't look like he gets much love. Once we capture it, we should see all the stuff return. Like that. There we go. Just gotta flick the Pro Controller. There we go. And we are back up here. Now let's make our way over to Luncheon Kingdom. Alright, now we're in Luncheon Kingdom. Let's hope we can do this well again. Can we get that first try? No! Okay. Alright, this is try number 2 minus 1. Can we get it on try number 2 minus 1? Nope, okay. Try number 3 minus 2. There we go! First try! Now we just have to make sure to not throw Cappy. And we're good! There we go. Now we can explore Mount Volvono, I think is what it's called. I still don't know to this day. I've been playing this game for 8 years. Without the normal overviews. Just have to make sure to not capture anything, so we've only got the first section. Wait, a question just popped in my mind. So there's a specific sub-area that's just really, really far off on the map. what if we go through the loading zone for that sub area? What would happen? You know what, let's end the video on that. What would happen if we go into that sub area? Okay, the sub area is right over there, but the question is, how the heck are we gonna get there with the dance pad? I'm pretty sure if we go in the pipe, this stuff comes back. So, what are we gonna do? Alright, we're gonna keep this between you and me, alright? Oh, how could we have gotten here? Seems like we just kind of magically teleported. What are the chances? Alright, so now we can go inside. Let's hope something cool will happen, or we just didn't waste all that time. Something cool gonna happen? Nope, it all just comes back. Okay. So the cheating, I mean teleportation, was all worth it. Alright, sounds good. Well, that was pretty cool to do. It was really fun to use all these different controllers. And now that was doing 10 glitches with the 10 weirdest controllers I own. So, I think there's one main takeaway from this. Glitches with weird controllers are cool, but not very practical. Maybe it could be a fun party trick to do a roll cancel with the dance pad. Trust me, it's possible. But outside of that, there isn't really much else to it. Now, you're probably wondering how you can do this too, like I said at the start. First, you can do this on both Switch 1 and Switch 2 since you only need 2 adapters from 8BitDo, which the names are on screen right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Okay, now it's bye for real this time.